Hello everyone. Welcome to Meet 12, that is part 12 of learning data science. And what all things we discussed in this 12 phase, you can go and look into my playlist of learning data science 365 days challenge. And yesterday we discussed about the tuples. Uh, we have completed the tuples, basically the functions which we use. And today, yes, we were going to start sets. Okay. So, but there is a some change in the process of learning. It's like here we will definitely start with the sets, but today what we will do, we will just practice some questions regarding strings or the data types which we have learned till now. There is string, list, tuples. So just let's start with it. And yes, as usual, as I tell you guys that every day you have to read the mind maps. Again, what is a mind map? Mind map is a pictorial representation of your data. You can't be able to get insights by seeing all those 10,000 rows of Excel sheet or a Google sheet or 5,000 lines of words in a Google Doc, 5,000. It's like basically you can't be able to see. So for that, what you need uh, flow chart, or you can see say a tree, or you can see the mind map, and it not only provide you the data of that in a pictorial format, but yes, also it's provide you the data in a fixed manner. Okay, so just let's start with the mind map, and it's just a simple thing. You have to just type here Python mind map, and you will get in your screen the mind map for Python. So you can see here we have already discussed about the introduction, variables in Python, what are the operators in Python, and yes, regarding data types, we discussed about the numeric data types, what are numeric data types, we discussed about string, we discussed about list, and yes, yesterday we discussed about tuples as well. So what we are going to do today, right? So the very first thing which I suggest you guys is that uh, just open Spider because Spider again is a beginner friendly. It provides us so much features when a beginner is learning. There are very good IDs like PyCharm and VS Code. Yes, but it doesn't have some features which especially Spider has. And that feature really helps the beginner to learn the concepts, to understand the concepts more precisely and in a more organized way. Okay, so for that, I have opened a Panda here, and if I will just go here and I will open a new file, it's just as simple as creating a new file as you have been creating in your Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel, anything. So I will just write here Dave. You can write any name according to your convenience. I will write here Dave 14. Okay. And the very next thing what I will do here is that I will go to my Google Chrome, and here I will go to ChatGPT, and I will ask him that give me uh, string and list questions. Okay. So you have seen that. There are 20 questions. Okay, so what we will do, I'll just try to solve all these 20 questions within this session, right? And you can see it's very easy to go, and you all guys can try the same thing. Instead of just writing, give me a string and list questions, you can write, give me 100 string and 100 list questions each. So what it will do, it will give you a list of 100 questions. Then you can practice gradually. Means like once you have asked from ChatGPT, then you can go to W3 schools. You can practice the code from there. Then again, after performing 100 questions of strings from W3 schools, 100 questions of string from ChatGPT, then you can move on to the lead code and hacker rank. Yes, and we will move just step by step because what I told here is like data science and data analyst only needs 20% of Python. But again, whenever you are learning something, don't just learn for the sake of learning. Okay, 20% is needed, so I will learn 20%. But no, you have to learn the 100%, each and everything. Whenever you are learning something, you have to be in that confidence. Ki yes, someone will ask you anything, you will be able to reply every question related to it. Right? And for that reason, means like whenever you are in some interview or anywhere. So you are a data scientist and you have performed various projects and various good projects, but you have a good knowledge related to it. And some another person is same. But the difference is here that you know only 20% of Python and that guy know 100% of Python. You know only 50% of SQL, but that guy know 100% of SQL. You know 75% of Power BI and that guy know 100% of Power BI. You know 100% of machine learning, neural networks, deep learning, that they also know 100%. So automatically that interviewer will hire the person who is having 100% in all of this, right? Because at the end, if someone is understanding a particular thing to the very topmost, that is 100%, then obviously that person will somewhere or the other have more knowledge than you, and they would be able to track the things much better and in a much easier way. So for that reason, you should, whatever topics which is being covered in data science, you have to learn 100% of everything, whether it's related to Python, whether it's related to Power BI, whether it's related to SQL. Then you are moving again into machine learning, whether it's machine learning, whether it's deep learning, whether it's neural network, whether it's NLP, whether it's reinforcement learning, okay, whether it's computer vision. You should know everything, each and everything till the last. Okay. So now just let's stick to it. And now what I will do, I will just write a Python program to count the number of vowels in a given string. Okay. So I will just simply copy this thing and I will go here. I will just let me increase the size. I will just paste here. And when I paste it, now just let's start with the thing. So the very first thing is that we need a string, right? So what we will do, we will create a variable here. We will write input, enter a string. Okay. So you can see the string is created. And the very first thing what I will do, I will iterate it through a loop. So I will say for I in S. Okay. So what I will do, I will iterate through each and everything. For example, this is a particular string, enter a string. So every time when I will go in through S, it will, the first value will be E, the second value will be N, the third value will be T, the fourth value will be R, and so on. Okay. So here I will put a condition. The condition again here is if I in, I hope you guys know this particular operator. This is a membership operator and it returns a Boolean value of true and false, right? So if I in what? I in A E I O U or small a e i o u, okay? And One more thing I forgot, just I will put a counter variable here. Counter variable means it just holds a value of c is equal to 0. Okay, because we need to count something, and whenever we are not assigning it, it will give you a error. Why? Because Python will not identify what c is. Okay, so I'll just put a colon here, and if I in AIO, so what I will do, I will increase the counter by 1. So C plus is equal to 1. And at the last, what I will do, I will just use print. I will use the app string here, print the vowels is C. Okay. And now I will execute this whole line of code. So when I execute it, will give you a prompt to just enter your string. So I will just write enter a string. Okay. So in enter a string, how many vowels are there? You can see the very first vowel is E. Then after E, 2. Then it's A, which is 3. Then I, it's 4. So total of 4 vowels is there, and we got the answer as 4. Okay. So now let's move on to our next question. Then our next question, now just take one with list. Okay. Write a Python program to remove duplicates from a list. Okay. So let's do it to remove the duplicates. So what I will do here, I will just here I will be using list comprehension. Again, list comprehension is something which I haven't discussed till now. We will discuss it later. It's something uh, advanced Python. But no, or just let's create it a simple and just let's don't take the user input list. Or you can say it as for example, for I, okay, now let's take a normal list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. Okay, so this is the particular list, and what we have to do, we have to just remove the duplicates from this particular list. So the very first thing which we were going to discuss was about the set, and there is one feature in set that it doesn't contain any duplicate value. So there is a two way to solve this program. The very first way is that we should convert this particular list into set, and we can do vice versa. Okay. I've already showed you in explicit type conversion what explicit type conversion particularly is, right? I've already shown you guys. So just let's try it. Like what we will do, we will use L is equal to set of L. Okay. And now again I will do L is equal to list of L. So you can see when I will execute this line of code, it will convert, remove the duplicates. And when I will print L here, when I will execute this line of code, you can see that these many values were there previously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 61, then 2, 3, 5, 6. Then you can clearly see that the values have been removed. The duplicate values have been removed. So it's so simple, means like you can use explicit type conversion in this, and you can just remove the duplicate values from list or from anything. So it's very simple regarding it. Okay. And the another way to solve this program is, for example, you don't know explicit type conversion. So we will go with hit and trial method. Again, hit and trial method, it will increase the type time complexity of your program. The time complexity, what is time complexity? Again, you will, when you will solve the DSA questions, then you will understand those things. What do you mean by time complexity? But as if for now you are a beginner, so it's totally up to you whether what process you guys would stick to. Okay. So for example, right now you were understood the string, sorry, my bad, list and string. So how to solve this particular program with list itself, not involving with set. When we involve set, we have successfully got the answer. Okay. So now just let's stick to the list. So what I will do, I will execute this line of code again, and I have updated the L. And when I will print L here, you can see that previously this was the L. Now I've got my initial L. Okay. And what I will do here, I will just assign a empty list. Okay. And I will for I in L. I will use this particular thing for I in L. And if I will check if I in L1. So the first part, the very first part, what I will do when I will do one, it will check if I in L1. If I is there in L1, if it's there, then we have to do nothing. If it's not there, then we have to append it, right? So instead of writing if I in L1, I will write if I not in L1. If I is not in L1, for example, L1 right now stores the value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 61. Here the value is there. Okay. Again, when my I will be here, my cursor will be here. Then what I will check if 2 in L1. So you can see if 2 in L1, so it will not do anything. If 2 is not in L1, then I will add the elements into L. Basically, what I am doing here, I am just creating a normal list, a empty list which doesn't contain any elements as if for now. Okay. And in that list, I'm storing the values. Why I'm using if I not in L1 is the same reason that, for example, this is a empty room and this is a room full of people, right? So you have to segregate the peoples who have, for example, students who have brought their ID card into examination hall or not. So what you will do, you will check, okay, this person holds the ID card or not. If it's hold, just let's move into the examination hall. This is examination hall. This is the auditorium in which the student is sitting, right? So one by one, you will check the ID card. If it's not there, if it's there, then you will just pull out the students. Similarly, here, if you will check if the duplicate value is not there, if I is not present in this room, then you will put that thing in the room. If I is already present here, if the values which we initially filled in has the values already, for example, you can say in the very first part, one is not there, right? So ultimately, one will be stored in here. Similarly, it goes with 2, it goes with 3, it goes with 4, it goes with 5, it goes with 61 as well. But as soon as we will encounter 2 again, it will check, okay, or whether 2 is present in this list or not, right? So what will happen if 2 is present, then it will not do anything. If 2 is not present, then it will add. So you can see that we are skipping these values. We are skipping 2, 3. Then again it will go till 45. It will check for 45. 45 itself is not there. Then it will go for 6. Then again it will go for 5. It will check whether 5 is present or not. Till now we have got this all values. We have got values till here. We have got 45 also. We have got 6 also. But 5 is already there, you can see. So 5 will not be added to that list. So basic, simple, basic logic is this. Okay. And if I is not in a null, so what I will do, I will write L1 dot. I hope you guys have remembered the append function. What append function does? It adds the element to the very last of the list. Okay. So I will write L1 dot append I. Okay. And here I will print L1. So now let's execute this line of code. And after executing it, you can see very clearly the duplicates have been removed. So these are the two processes which you can follow to solve the problem. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. Next question, just let's pick it from string. So just go here and check how do you reverse a string without slicing. Okay. How do we reverse the list or string without slicing? So I hope you guys have remembered some reverse function is there. Basically, what does this statement means? Okay. How do you reverse a string without slicing? So for example, I will tell s is equal to input enter a string. Okay. And here, what I will do, I will just use slicing technique. I will use if s equal to s of from start till end, but step will be minus one. Minus one means we will start from backward, from right to left. Okay. And if I execute this line of code, then you can see incomplete input. Why? Because we yeah, haven't used anything in this particular if condition. So I will write print the string is palindrome or the string is reverse. No, sorry, my bad. We were checking palindrome or not. So I will just simply write print s semicolon and minus one. So you can see it. If I will print it, I will just use input a string name as string and why it's getting printed. Okay, sorry, my bad. I haven't using negative indexing here because negative step means we have to move from minus one step, okay, from top or from the decreasing order. This is what it means, minus one. So if I will execute this line of code, you can see if I will enter a string, you can see the string got reversed, right? So now the program question is telling we don't have to use the reverse, we don't have to use slicing. So the simple logic here is that we will use the reverse function that is s dot reverse. Okay, and then if I will include this line of code, you can see str object has no attribute as reverse. Okay, so what I will do, I will just go and fetch what are the certain functions pertaining to str. So you can see there is a swap case, there is a fail of street, pipe street, replace. Okay. So for this, what you have to do, you have to just in the previous you have assigned one empty list. So here also I will assign one s1 is equal to some empty string. Okay. This is an empty string because no values is present here, neither spaces, not anything. And what I will do, I will write for I in s. Okay. I have written here for I in s. What does I mean? I will iterate through all the string, through all the values which is there in the string. Right now, what we want is that the value should go from, we should go from the decreasing order, right? The value should go from decreasing order. We have to print the first, uh, like this. The very last element should be concatenated in this particular S1. Okay. So we want that. So for that, what we will do, we are iterating through list, sorry, my bad, through string. And here, what I will do, I will just use the last value of I. For the very first time, I value will be 1, right? But what I want the very last value of I. Okay. So what I will do here, I will use the length function here, len of s. So I hope you guys know about the len function, what particularly this len function does. And I will use the range function for I in range len of s. I've done it. Now what's the very thing which I have to do it is that I will sign here for say some variable as of L. Okay. I'm just assigning some value. Okay, right. And here what I will do, I will do C is equal C minus C minus is equal to 1. Mhm. So I'm decreasing the value every time and the loop will go. Okay. And now I will add the values here. So I will add S1 is equal to S1 plus S of C. Okay. Now let's try printing this. Print S1. You can see here successfully we have reversed the string. For example, if you guys haven't understood from this, let's execute this line of code and write here string. Okay, I've written here a string, and after this I will execute this line of code. And you can see it was a string and now it's reversed from G M I R T S. Basically, what I have done here, what the basic logic behind it is that first I found out the length of the string. Basically, if I will just write here print L, so you can see the length will be, the length is 6. But again, in string, the very first character start from 0. So G it's 0, then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the last element holds the index value of 5. So we have taken one variable where we store the length value. For example, in C the value was 6 And here why I have done c minus is equal to 1. Why I decrease the value by 1? You can see the very last value will be 5. So if I won't write this code initially, so it will give me an error of array index out of bound, because c s of 6 it will not be able to fetch. Similarly, after every loop, we will be decreasing it. First, the value was 6, then I decreased to 5. So in S1, previously S1 was some blank asterisk, uh, some none value was there, none value plus C, S of C. S of C was 5, S of 5 is S. Okay, so I have done it here S of 5. And similarly, uh, after again, when the loop will go on, C will be again reduced to 1. So previously it was 6, it reduced to 5, then from 5 it will reduce to 4. Okay. So on the very first value in S1, we got G here, because the string, the last S of 5 was G. We got G here. After that, when C changed its value to 4, then you can see here 1, 2, 3, not 1, 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, and this n value is 4. So S of 4, n. So here S of 4, which is n, will be concatenated in that particular string. So G plus n. So similarly, Gn. So like this it will go. Okay. For example, if I haven't understood why here C is equal to L, so just let's take a value of here, just C is equal to minus 1. Okay. And I will again use a negative slicing in, right? No, just let's try it whether it will work or not. Array index out of range. Here, surely it will show you, because at the last, what you will get minus 6 here, and minus 6 is not, it's like it's not applicable when the loop at will be at last. So it's better what to do whenever you get this type of question. You can use this thing again. These things can be easily solved with this. So there is no need to do it. Okay. So as per this question, I was solving this, and it's up to you. It's a very simple program. But yes, when we are not using slicing, so it becomes some complex type. So it's the same thing here. We will check the palindrome of string or not. So I will go here, write a function to check if it's palindrome or not. Okay. So what I will do, I will just input a string here, s is equal to input enter a string, and I will try to check that string is equal to its reversed value or not. Okay, so I will do minus 1. Okay? And if s is not equal, and if s equal to reverse of this, you can see it was reversing the string. So if our initial string is equal to revert, when is equal to the reverse string or not. If it's equal, then we have to print the string is turning wrong. Else we have to print it here that the it's no, right? Okay. And when I will execute this line of code, so on the very first, I will write here, madam. So you can see, madam, the string is palindrome because when we are writing the string from left to right, it's MADAM. When we are reversing the string, it's also MADAM. So that means that particular string is a palindrome. Now just let's take some another value, some string here. You say string is not palindrome because obviously when we are reversing this string, it will be not palindrome. Okay. So for that reason, yeah. So these all things we discussed about the question. So similarly, you guys have to do the same thing. If you don't get the question, just go on ChatGPT, just try performing those. And yes, don't take the help of ChatGPT. You can take the help of building the concepts. You can take the help of Google. Why it's happening? You can check take the helps of some documentation part, some documentation of strings, some documentation of list, some documentation of anything. But again, don't use AI for these things. Uh, in you, it's like when you first understood the basic concepts pertaining to it, then you are free to use AI because everyone is using AI and it reduces our time. But right now, you don't want to reduce your time. You want to learn the basics. So for that reason, I am suggesting not to use AI. But when you are building some model or when you are working on some GenAI project or anything, no one's write the code from scratch. Okay, so there you can use it, but right now I'm practicing the questions. Don't use it. Okay. So I hope you guys have understood all these things. So let's meet tomorrow. Tomorrow at the same time, that is 8 p.m. And till then, keep practicing it, keep performing the things. But why? Because again, coding is just like you are learning how to drive a car from YouTube, and you can't learn to drive a vehicle just by watching the videos. Similarly, it goes with the codes as well. You will not understand how to write a code just by watching the videos. Okay, you have to jump into it. You have to jump into your car. You have to jump into your ID to practice these things. Okay, so see you tomorrow. Till then, goodbye. Take care. Good night and join.